Well, hey friends, and welcome back. Today, I want to share with you 10 creative ways that we save money. And saving money has always been something that we really prioritized. It's helped us to live consumer debt-free, to save up a 20% down payment on our house, to invest, and a whole lot more. But recently, with all the rising inflation and economic instability that we've all been experiencing, something that's been on my mind now more than ever. And so today, I want to look at 10 creative and maybe even a bit unusual ways that we save money. We're going to go beyond the traditional savings advice of things like budgeting and paying yourself first. Those are great, and we continue to do those. But today, I thought it would be good to get a bit more practical and specific. So I'm excited to get into this, and my hope is that you can walk away from this video with some ideas and inspiration to bolster your savings. So with that in mind, if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button below for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. Let's get started with our first tip, and that's to switch grocery stores. I think it should come as no surprise to any of us that what food costs at one grocery store isn't necessarily what it will cost at another. In fact, in most cities, there are usually 3 different tiers of grocery stores. On one end, you have your low-cost grocery stores. This is going to be places like Walmart or Aldi. Then next, you have your mid-range grocery stores. This is places like Trader Joe's, maybe Lidl, and I'd say a lot of regional grocers tend to fall in this category too. And then finally, you have your high-end, high-cost grocery stores. This can be places like Whole Foods, the Fresh Market, or many specialty stores that fall in this category too. And so one really easy way that you can save money while grocery shopping is just changing which tier of store you're buying from when doing your weekly grocery shopping. If you typically do your grocery shopping at that middle tier, maybe you can jump down to a more budget-friendly option. Or if you do most of your grocery shopping at those high-tier stores, maybe you can go down to the middle or even the low tier. I would say typically I can save about 25%, if not more, on groceries by shopping at a lower tier option. And honestly, if you consistently make that switch over a month or a year, that really adds up. But then you can also take this one a step further too, and instead of buying brand name products at the grocery store, switch to the generic option. 9 times out of 10, the generic option is going to work equally as well as the brand name. There really isn't any kind of discernible difference. Except, of course, that the generic version is actually going to save you money. Okay, and then the second way that we save money is that we wait for sales. And I feel like it's important that I start this one off with a quick clarification. We try to never buy something because it's on sale. Instead, we try to wait to buy something when it's on sale. I think that in the very instant gratification culture that we live in, the whole idea of waiting has become a bit foreign to us. I mean, Amazon is literally delivering packages to my house the day that I ordered them now. I'm being completely honest, that convenience is sometimes really appreciated. But that being said, there can be a whole lot of value and in fact money to be saved in waiting to buy something. Especially if you're considering buying something that you know regularly goes on sale, it can be a great idea to wait until you can purchase that item at a discount. And this is something that we've started doing for both higher priced and everyday items. You know, recently we started talking about buying a Dyson cordless vacuum because we thought it would be a great multi-purpose cleaning solution. So we talked about it, we decided that we wanted to get one, but I also knew that they were something that fairly regularly go on sale. So over the past month or two, I just kind of monitored what the price was every so often, and then a couple days ago, when I found it at a really affordable price, I finally decided to purchase it. And so because we decided to wait for when that item went on sale, we saved over $150 just on that single purchase. And so being patient and waiting for sales really can be powerful for bigger purchases, but it also helps us to save money on a regular basis too. I'll often buy a lot of our personal care or general household items from places like Target, and stores like that will often have their products go on sale. And so it's the exact same thing on a smaller scale. I'll just wait for the discounts and purchase the items I need then. And so this really is a great example of just how some good old-fashioned patience and delayed gratification really can help you to save. Going back to what I said before though, the one caution I have with this is you really want to make sure that you're not falling into that mindset of just buying something because it's on sale. Wait for the sales, but don't use that as your reason to buy. Okay, then number 3 is BYOF. Bring your own food. If you're going to a movie theater on a day trip, you're just generally going to be out of the house for a long time, and you know at some point you're probably going to get hungry, or at the very least a bit snacky. Try bringing your own food. Just plan accordingly and pack your own snacks. That way you won't be finding yourself paying way too much for convenience-based items. And I would say the two biggest times that I like to do this personally are either when I'm flying or going on a road trip. Gas stations and airports are just absolutely notorious for just charging an arm and a leg for just items that you can buy so much cheaper at the grocery store. Then the movie theater too, it is so overpriced. Christopher and I will often sneak a little bit of our own candy into the movie theater, which is great because it helps us to save money, and also most other stores have a better selection than the like 3 types of candy that movie theaters normally have. I know in some places movie theaters tend to care a bit more than others, but in my experience, they've never really cared what we're bringing inside. But regardless of if it's for traveling, going to see a movie, spending the day out of the house, packing your own food really can be a great way to save. Plus that way, you're not going to be limited by the options at whatever location you happen to be frequenting, and you can just bring exactly what you want. But then moving on, our 4th tip is to split it up. Let's just be honest here, life is expensive. And so one thing that we like to do is to split up the cost of events, activities, and services amongst friends and family members where possible. And so this is something that we like to do with our phone bill. We're both on our respective family members' plans and just pay our parents each month the portion of our phone bill. It's a whole lot cheaper than Christopher and I just sharing a phone bill with the 2 of us. And we also love to do this with travel too. While obviously we still need to pay for our own flights and things like that, what we've discovered is you can actually save a lot of money both on lodging and transportation if you're renting a car if you go with friends. And so last year on our trip to Italy, we went with 2 close friends, and it was so nice being able to split up the lodging, a lot of the transportation, and other smaller fees throughout the trip. And those are just a couple of ideas. Honestly, if you get creative, there really are so many ways that you can split up costs with various friends and family members. So I'd really encourage you just to kind of let your imagination run wild with this one. Okay, and then number 5 is to use a menstrual cup. And this is something that I've been doing literally for years. I love my menstrual cup, and at this point, I think I've told pretty much all of my friends to switch to them. And there are a few big reasons why I'm such a big fan. Number 1 is it saves you a lot of money. This really is one of those things that you do pay a bit more for upfront, but then within just a couple of periods, you're going to have more than paid for that item, and every month going forward, you're going to be saving money. It really is so nice having my period roll around each month and not having to worry at all about buying tampons or pads or any other feminine products. All I need is my cup and I'm good. But on top of that, in case the financial benefits don't quite have you convinced, they really do make periods just so much easier, so much less stressful, and traveling with a menstrual cup, if you like to travel, you just need one. Talk about a game changer. My menstrual cup probably is in my top 5 purchases of all time. Okay, back to saving money though. I know I got a little bit sidetracked, but as you can tell, pretty passionate about menstrual cups. Try one if you haven't already. But again, this is really one of those easy and simple swaps that can save you money. Then number 6 is to carpool and batch driving. And with gas prices just being through the roof right now, this is something that we've started doing a lot more lately. If you're going somewhere that's a decent drive away, see if you might be able to do it with friends. Or if you're wanting to visit a friend who lives a good distance from you, see if you might be able to meet in the middle somewhere. That's actually something I'm going to be doing next week. I have a friend who lives about 3 hours away from me, so rather than one of us drive all the way to the other, we've actually found a cool little national forest about halfway between each of us. But then also, if you find yourself with a lot of errands to do, see if you might be able to do them all together as a way to save gas. Ever since we moved out of uptown Charlotte, I found that I need to drive a lot further to do a lot of the errands on my list. And so what I like to do is I'll just kind of have an errands day, try to do as many of them as possible, especially trying to group like ones together, so ones that are in the same area. It makes it so that I'm doing less total driving, so I'm saving on gas, and actually it saves me time too. And so the key with this one is really just to be strategic with your driving so that you can limit the amount of gas that you're using. But then number 7 is to cook more. About a month ago, Christopher and I had gotten into a pretty bad habit of going out to eat for about 50%, if not more, of our dinners. Going out to eat is rarely the most cost-efficient option, so something that we've really been trying to focus on lately is cooking more at home. And personally, I've actually had a lot of fun getting back in the kitchen again, being able to be creative with cooking fun, healthy meals. But it's also resulted in some pretty significant savings for us. Typically, when we go out to eat, we'd be spending anywhere from $20 to $40 or $50 per meal. And when I'm cooking on my own at home, I can usually average anywhere from $5 to $15 for a meal for the two of us. So by making that switch and going from primarily eating out to primarily at home, we've been able to save about 50% on our dinners each week just automatically. And of course, that's not to say we never eat out anymore, but we have been trying to do so a lot less frequently and doing it more like 1 to 2 times a week rather than like 3, 4, 5, even 6 times a week that we were doing for a bit there. And then our 8th way to save money is to do an inbox detox. When it comes to making purchases, we're really only tempted to buy what we can see. I mean, that's the whole point of advertising. It's companies trying to put something in front of you. And so one of the best ways to save money is just to limit what you see, what advertising you're taking in, so that you're not going to be tempted to spend money in the first place. If you don't know about that sale, that special, that limited time offer, that product, you're not going to be tempted to buy it. And so one of the best ways to limit how much advertising you're taking in is just to go into your email inbox and do a mass unsubscribe. Try to identify all of the emails that you receive from various stores and just one by one unsubscribe from each. Or if you're a bit impatient like me, try using a service like unroll.me. That can help you unsubscribe from them with just a click of a button. So unsubscribing from emails can be a great way to limit your exposure to advertising. It's that whole idea of the less you see, the less you buy, the more that you'll save. But then also too, a couple other ideas that you can consider are looking into ad blockers or even unfollowing different brands that you might be following on social media. Especially if you're trying to be really serious about saving for a season, if there's a specific goal that you're working towards, it can really help. All right, then we've got 2 left here. Number 9 is to DIY your hair and nails. It never ceases to blow my mind how much money people can spend on their hair and nails a month. Literally, we're talking about hundreds of dollars a month, which translates to thousands of dollars a year. And in my opinion, doing these at home is one of the best ways that you can save money. Will you be able to do it just as good as if you went to a salon? Probably not. But if you can get it to within 80% as good, which most of us can, it's usually worth it. Plus, what's fun with this one is you can actually turn it into a bit of a spa or pamper night when you do your hair and nails. And then last but not least, number 10 is to get smart. As we moved into our home, something that we did from the get-go was to install a smart thermostat and lights. And that's honestly been such a great decision because we're paying about the same amount for energy now as we were when we were in an apartment that was 500 square feet smaller. And with this one, obviously it is a longer term benefit. There is an upfront cost with these. But if you're in a home, a condo, an apartment, you're planning on staying there for a significant amount of time, it definitely is worth it. They say that typically installing smart thermostats can reduce your energy bills by about 10%. And smart LED lights last about 25 times longer and use 75% less energy than your traditional light bulb. So that alone can lead to some great savings over time. But also I can't speak to the number of times that I've been out of the house and I just remembered I forgot to switch off the lights or the thermostat while I was gone, and I can just pull up the app on my phone and turn it off to make sure that we're not wasting energy. So that's it. Those are 10 creative ways that we like to save money. And I hope that this gives you some ideas or inspiration to be able to save and to reach your financial goals during what feels like a very uncertain time. But now I'd love to know, are there any unusual ways that you like to save money? Comment them down below. I'd love to hear them. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't already for more simple and intentional living videos coming at you twice a week. And until next time, friends, I hope you have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next one.